Are recording. Go ahead.
Okay. And good morning, everybody. The Board of Venture Technology meeting is convening at 9:02, February 6th, 2023, at the Health Licensing Office in Salem by telephone conference call. I will now call the roll. Ron Ferris here. Todd Young.
Here.
Chris Chapman.
Here.
Grant Smith.
Here.
Okay, roll complete. Members, when you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. Board members are asked not to use the chat feature during meeting. Public members wishing to speak must first sign in on the roster sheet available. For public members calling in on public phone line, please email April Fleming at april.fleming@dhsoha.state.or.us. Please provide your first and last name. Public and interested parties' feedback may be heard during the public interest parties' feedback period, if indicated on the agenda. Everyone is asked to use appropriate language, manners, and protocols when conducting board business. This meeting is called to order. Prior to public interest parties' feedback, at this time, the Board of Venture Technology will hear the public interest parties' feedback. Members of the public, please wait until you have been heard.
Chair, this is Bob. We
You
are.
went too far.
You went way ahead.
I jumped up, yeah.
Yes.
We want to go to items for board action, I think is where we are.
There you go.
Correct, okay. Matter of fact, this page was not in the script, that I pulled it out of last month's script to be ready for you, and I got carried away. Got those overachievers, right, Todd? Okay. Items for board action.
Yes,
It's
Chair.
approval of agenda, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is Todd Young, and make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, Todd has made the motion. Do we have a second?
This is Chris. I'll second.
So the agenda as written has been seconded. Okay. And then, so the first on the agenda is the items for board action. And
We need to vote on that.
it's the approval agenda, and then we go to reports. Thank you.
Chair, we need to have you do a roll call on the approval of the agenda.
Okay. Thank you. So on the approval of the agenda, we'll do the roll call. Ron Ferris. Yes. Okay. Todd Young.
Aye.
Chris Chapman.
Aye.
Grant Smith.
Aye.
The approval of the agenda has been approved.
Very good. Chair, members of the board, this is Bob. The director's report. We've had some movement for recruitment. We've got a couple of folks interested, both former board members, Tad Brzezinski and Joe Hammer. So we've got Derek working with them to get them through the process. Licensing. Yes, that is very good. We also have, if I can find my notes. Oh, there we go. Since we're talking about board members, Grant is graciously serving until replaced. He cannot be reappointed. His term will expire though forward ahead, September 22, 2025. And Todd Young is in his first full term, which expires March 14 of 24, and he can reappoint. Chris Chapman, his expired September 25 in 22, and he cannot reappoint, and he is graciously serving until replaced. And Ron Ferris, chair, your first full term expires the end of this month, this year, 2/28 of 23, and you can reappoint. Then hopefully soon we have Tad and Joe Hammer on. Next part of my report is we have a new qualification specialist. His name is Brandon Chastain, and I don't see him. I see him there. Yeah, if you could have him so they can see him and he can tell us a little bit about Brandon. Gee, Sammy.
On the spot, or any groups I close that out.
So I keep looking away because we're on our big screen. Good morning, Cynthia. All right, we've got Cynthia. Yes.
I'm gonna put you over to Brandon. There's Brandon.
This is Brandon. So Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Hello, Brandon.
Oops.
Oh.
Come from a corrections background, so it's all new to me, but hope to pick up pretty quick.
Was the board able to hear him?
Mostly.
Barely.
Talk a little louder. Say it again.
Sorry, my bad.
Coming from a corrections background and did that for about 10 years at juveniles. And so this is a whole new field for me, but I'm looking to pick up pretty quick and look forward to working with y'all.
Very good.
Can I give a little bit of,
Go ahead, Cynthia.
so this is Cynthia Murphy, the qualification analyst for the health license. Brandon will be working with me on all aspects relating to education, training, and examinations. And so Brandon has only been here 3 days so far, but he is picking up very quickly, and he will be assisting me in doing all of the duties as it relates to qualifications with the education, training, and examination. So super excited to have Brandon here. Been looking forward to this for a long time, and it will help this qualifications move forward and really kind of get ahead from where we've been for several years. So yay for us. Thank you, Brandon.
Okay. Moving on to the licensing and fiscal statistical reports. So since fiscal year 21 through our current status, we've issued 19 licenses. Licenses renewed in the same time frame. We've renewed 298, and the majority of those look like they're online, which is good. Licensed by age and gender appears to be a predominantly male field, and everybody's vast majority looks like they're between in their 40s to 60s. Licensing trends pretty static between 114 and 118. Board financials are in a good spot, very good spot. And with ending balance of the fiscal year 22, 219,000, and currently sitting at an ending cash balance of $230,924. The board's current assessments are down by a small fraction of a percent, which helps keep the board in afloat and the office moving forward. Any questions on any of the statistics?
Yeah, but I did, went fast. Back on the license renewed,
Yes, sir.
it said total renewed. And I was looking at the consistency with 21, 22, and then 23 says 69. And the graph doesn't look like that.
For licenses renewed. Gotcha.
The total, the bottom bar says 69 and 23. And I don't see the graph doesn't look the same.
So I'm going to try and do a little math in my head.
It adds
So
up.
we are in quarter 3 of fiscal year 2023. So the fiscal year started July 1 of 22. So, and you're right. Oh wait, no, that's 20.
It adds up. It adds up.
Yes, it does. So it's the 26 plus 3 plus 29 plus 7 plus 4, Ron.
Okay.
I know which quarters, and I never know.
Yeah.
It's not alone.
So yeah, our years are not like everybody
The
else.
Q3 must not be, it must be a partial reporting I mean, obviously, so.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of quarter 3 and March.
Okay. Well, if 3 out of 4 say it, it's got to be right.
Yeah. So March will start quarter 4. So between now and March, I expect that number to go up.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on it? And I was glad I could answer it. All right. Regulatory report. Trampus Shuck, the regulatory manager, is online.
Hello, everyone. So this is the regulatory report. The current regulatory report is going to show the number of cases that have been opened and closed. We currently have only one biennium open, which is the current biennium. All the cases from previous biennium have been closed and finalized. So we've received 7, and we have 4 still open. One of those that are still open is a case that's is going to be reviewed in executive session later. So yeah, but that's where we are. Does anybody have any questions about this? Yeah. All right.
All right. So we are on the policy section. Unless anybody has any questions about anything, I will step out of the way and let Sammy jump on here.
Hey everyone, I'll be quick today. Just a legislative update. We are in full swing with the legislative session now. So we're monitoring 6 bills, either 1, 2, or 3, which means there's an analysis. And, we prepare talking points and things like that, just in case information is needed by public health. We don't actually go to the Capitol or anything. We just provide public health with information. But the first one we're reviewing is to provide a provisional registration for applicants of behavior analysis intervention for provisional licenses or registrations. That one may have some amendments, I'm not sure. The next one is adding a provisional certification for the Board of Cosmetology to perform service center supervision to education and training hours. That one has not been scheduled for anything. The previous one is scheduled for February 14th for a hearing. House Bill 2209, issue a license to adopt 2 hours to perform administration of local anesthetic. NHLO would need to create an education program and likely an examination to ensure that they meet standards to be able to do that. 2665 is regarding the temporary staffing agency and may charge or to receive from entity that engages in temporary staffing agency directs. It's a whole lot of stuff with the health authority, so nothing to worry about. 2696 creates another board in HLO called the Sign Language Interpreter Board. It'll be 7 members and license, I believe, 6 license types. So that one will have a hearing today at 3 o'clock. And I just looked it up. There's a lot of testimony that I have to read through. Senate Bill 412, which I added to your guys' packet, requires a dental laboratory to register with the Health Licensing Office. Defines dental laboratory, requires dental laboratory to provide material content disclosure to dentists who prescribes work order for dental prosthetic appliance or for artificial material or device. That is a long sentence, I'm just saying.
This is
I have a
Ron.
few questions about this one, but you may have the same
Todd
one.
is first.
Lay it on me.
I think Todd got his hand up first, but I have questions too. Ron.
Go ahead, Todd.
So, do you know who actually is behind SB 412? And are we talking about setting up an actual licensed dental technician profession? And it talks about dentists in there, but obviously dental prosthetics roll over into denturas. So what's the likelihood of this bill actually gaining traction and getting out of the Senate and making it through?
Well, I had the hearing already, and I didn't listen to the hearing, but I think it went okay.
Yeah.
All I know is that Senator Patterson sponsored it. I don't know who went to him. We don't really get any of that information like we used to under Sue or even Randy. We don't get any of that since we went under OHA. It's just like we're in the dark. Makes it kind of difficult, but we work through it. Yeah, it actually will license a dental laboratory technician. No, I'm sorry. Just the facility. So it will, like we license cosmetology facilities in Body Art, this would license a dental laboratory facility. The questions I have is this laboratory connected to a dentist? It looks like that possibly, or is it only when a dentist says, lab, you make this device? Or can it be you who is just making a device and not seeing a dentist beforehand? I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think I've asked these questions to in the policy. No, I didn't do the analysis. Well, those are the questions I have. So
Well, it's a fairly
find out more.
complex bill.
Ron,
I mean,
yeah.
just looking at it, multiple pages, does define dentist. Denturist is, I mean, I just did a quick Control F, didn't find denturist listed in
No,
here.
it's not in there.
Yeah.
It's not in there, but it does say, to make a dental prosthetic. What is unclear here is it only connects them to a dental lab technician. And it's based, I'm not sure if it means only when a physician says X make device, does this lab come into play?
Okay, this is Ron. I think I can help you there.
Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, when it says licensed provider gives you the direction to do this. I'm very strong with, maybe we should have a committee that goes to the next meeting that helps have some input in this, because it should say, where it starts on there at the beginning, certified dental technicians, and it talks about education and laboratories, but I get often asked by dentists to fabricate a prosthetics for them. My lab's on vacation. Would you do this for me? Help me out. And we were really careful back in the 80s when we did this. This might not be a place for discussion, but I'm trying to get an avenue to make sure a discussion before it goes further. In Canada, they had to designate whether they were a denturist or they were a dental laboratory. They could not be both. We were very careful and strong saying that denturist, we can be a dental laboratory and do commercial lab work and be a denturist. This could limit that to not having a CDT in our laboratory. I echo Todd's concerns that the denturist dentists are one and the same in this terminology. And I think it's going to have to be in print that they are married as legal providers in the state of Oregon.
Well, it does state under section 2, 3A, that this does not apply to a dental laboratory that is in a dental office, which it's my strong opinion. I'm going to say legal. No, I can't say that. It's my strong opinion that a denturist operates a dental office, period. So I don't know. Maybe we're all right here, but it just, yeah. Definitely, maybe this isn't the right venue to discuss this.
I think it's an association issue. This is Grant. I think that we can talk about this in an association meeting about
Perfect.
maybe how to approach this.
I like it, Grant.
Just as a cautionary, if you guys decide to, provide any testimony, let us know. We'll help you draft it if you need it. And then just always reminding them that you're speaking as a public member and as a denturist, not as a member of the board. I think you guys all know that. I'll do a little bit more research into this and send you an update on whatever I can get. I haven't been following this very much because I'm doing other bills. But I will get on top of it for you guys.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
One more question on the HB 2696, the sign language. I think that's great, putting together a pool of sign language, that we were still curious on which professions are going to be involved in providing sign language. And we hadn't heard whether denturists were in that or not, assuming.
The healthcare provider one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we, to be continued. We're working on that question.
This is Grant. If I can interject one thing in the bill under definitions of dentist, in this language, number 4, dentist means a dentist licensed under ORS chapter 679. That's what I think this is about. The dental laboratory issue refers to dentists' relationship with a dental laboratory.
Yeah, I see that one for the laboratory, and it talks. Is the student under that? The student a dental technician student or a denturist student? A dental laboratory operator, for educational purposes, and the supervisor of the core study, the program that meets any of the accreditation standards described under OS chapter 679. And I didn't look that up, but I do have a note on here that, does that speak of dental technician students or denturist students working in accredited laboratories?
Yep. Section 1, number 3, dental laboratory technician means a person who, pursuant to a dentist's prescribed work order, makes and provides repairs or alters dental prosthetic appliances. So there's definition there that's really seems to exclude the denturist. We need to look into that, but that seems to be well delineated.
Well, it also says dental. There's a spot in here where I had questions, and I can't find it right now. What it appears to me is like they always connect it with a dentist. Like it needs to be a work order from a dentist.
Right.
The device needs to be returned to a dentist. But if I'm understanding correctly, what Ron was saying is that sometimes you guys do that for a dentist, which may include.
And I think that would stand in this definition.
Yeah, so if in fact that is happening, we would probably have to consider that.
So I can, having gone back over 40 years in this trade, I can just kind of tell you that this didn't come at the onus of the dentist. This is a large dental laboratory initiative, and that's who's behind it. It's been that way for a long, long time.
Well, and it also likely includes anybody who's doing business in Oregon. So it could be somebody, a dentist who's sending work out to Connecticut and they're sending it back. They would have to be licensed in Oregon as well.
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh.
from a laboratory perspective, you could take the work order meeting the license requirements and outsource it to China and then turn around and still deliver it under your license name. And there's a whole lot of ways that the big labs are doing that now. That's correct. Not going to help.
That's right.
They
And
would have to be licensed.
the dentists have historically in Oregon been highly against this. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah, under section 2, number 2, a dental laboratory is considered to operate or do business in the state if the dental laboratory is physically located within the state or prepares work product pursuant to a work order that originated from a dentist in the state. So China would need to get a license in Oregon.
Yeah. Now you're feeling it.
So I will look into that a little bit more. If you guys find anything out, please shoot me an email and we can move, see how to move forward, what you guys want to do, and I'll do the same.
Thank you very much, Sammy. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
you.
Todd. Thanks, guys. I'm very short when I'm in that seat.
Yeah, well, I can't help if they only saw your forehead. Not my
That's seriously
problem.
what they saw.
All right. Let's see. Percent update done. Bear with me while I scroll through all these documents so we're all on the same page for those of you looking at your computer. I believe the next item on the agenda is public interested parties feedback. Ron?
That's
Read
what
that.
I have. And if I may repeat my paragraph from earlier.
Please do. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
Public interest and parties feedback. Prior to public interest and parties feedback, at this time, the Board of Dental Technology will hear public interest, parties feedback, members of the public. Please wait until you have been recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and affiliation to the board for the record. Do we have any public comment?
Chair, members of the board, no, we do not.
No phone lines? Okay. With
Next
no
item.
public interest or no phone lines, the next on my list is the executive session.
Correct.
I'll read off this page.
Okay.
Executive session pursuant ORS 192.6602F and ORS 676.595 for the purpose of considering information exempt from public disclosure, to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection. If there's no comment, I guess I'd make a recommendation. We move into executive session.
Thank you. We'll stop the recordings and change over some things here.